Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and this video it's our 6th episode of Rank the Tank, which we will be featuring tier 10 light tanks. So as always, we take 3 tanks and we rank them from 3rd to 1st place. And without further ado, in 3rd place we have picked the Wizzy-132-1. So yeah, I ground this line actually. Do you know what, the Chinese light tanks, I'd say it was actually one of my favourite grinds, to be fair. I really enjoyed it. Particularly enjoyed the Wizzy-132 at tier 8. I thought that was probably my favourite. The 132-A at tier 9 wasn't too bad either. And yeah, I played this tank, the 132-1, a number of times, and it's okay. To be fair, I don't think I enjoyed it as much as the 9 and the 8. I mean, this tank has had some buffs over the years. I mean, there was a time where the reload on this was extremely long. It still does feel a little bit lengthy, but just not as much as before. I think before it was something like, I don't know, 7 or 8 seconds possibly, and don't quote me on that. It could have been a bit more actually. But yeah, they have made some buffs to this tank over the years, and yeah, it's not a bad tank by any stretch of the imagination. It's got some good alpha on it, and yeah, it's like I say, it's not too bad. So anyway, the first replay, we're on Arctic region here, and we've come to the usual spot that I like to play whenever I am on this spawn, which is in the middle here, lighting up the cross. And yeah, usually there's always going to be some tanks crossing up to the A line, and you can see there we've managed to light some tanks up crossing. I've got I'm platooned up with Kingpin in this replay, so he's playing TD, and he's propped up in the hill there, so yeah, he's covering me. Should I light anything up, he should be able to get some shots in. Now the only problem with this position, unfortunately, is it's a hot spot for artillery to completely focus you, and that's the problem we're having at the moment. Is artillery is completely focusing this point here. And some fantastic driving there, some Tony Hawk's wall riding there, but I think I was getting detected and targeted by something. I thought it was something that poked up on the ridge. You see where that heavy tank is in C3, C4. That's a popular spot for usually a light tank or a medium tank to sort of post up on the other side to spot this middle lane up. And sometimes you can get shot from there, so I've decided, you know what, I'm going to come out there because that position has sort of exhausted its use, I guess, and we've done as much as we could there. So decided to sort of pull back and reassess my options, basically. Numbers are still even. We've only lost 1 tank, and we're 3 minutes in, which is quite bizarre really, because usually by now you probably get about half the team dead. So it's a nice long drawn out game, which is good. It gives us time to obviously assess and make a bit more of a strategic and safe decision, as opposed to getting rushed into making a decision that might not necessarily be the right one. And the decision I made is I'm going to come down and see this tank destroyer on the corner here that this heavy tank is contesting with, and I feel like the tank destroyer is potentially on his own, so I'm going to sneak round, come up and get some shots into the side of him, putting him into basically a crossfire. So we pop up here, he's distracted with the tanks that are in front of him. We manage to get a shot into the side, and then he gets taken out. So we've cleared this side essentially, and now I'm sort of thinking we can pop up here and potentially get some spots on stuff at the back, and might be able to focus artillery. we got seriously unlucky there with an artillery shot, just literally chancing his arm there and managing to splash us a bit, which is really quite annoying because our RT detector had not even gone off. We're not spotted. It was just a lucky blind fire. But unfortunately it's just taking a bit more hit points away from us that we could potentially use for the end game. So that's quite frustrating really. All our damage has come from artillery. Also, just to edit there, we're not platooned up with Kingpin, it's actually Keiki we're platooned up with. Sorry, for some reason I thought it was Kingpin, but yeah, Keiki's in the Turan and was covering us early doors. So yeah, we've got a good combination here of sort of a complete OP tank destroyer helping me out. So yeah, odds should kind of be in our favour, but as you can see there, we're already 5 tanks down, which isn't helpful. And the problem we've got is we've pretty much lost map control now. We see this Maelstrom, but we are kind of out in the open and we're being targeted here, so I need to get out. Artillery is also looking at us, which is really frustrating. And I'm just going to try and get behind this rock here and get safe. But this is a good position as well because I've now got shots on the mouse as he comes crossing up. We've loaded the heat, but unfortunately we're just trying to snap a shot in and we hit part of the turret where he's angled, and you can see we've done the same again. Now we're getting shot from tanks that are in the valley there in the middle, so I'm a bit stuck because I don't have the gun depression to quite poke out and get a shot onto that mouse. So now I'm having to, I've said to Keiki, I've got to focus my attention on these guys coming into the middle because I'm getting crossfired here, and this is not really going to plan. In fact, we really are in quite an awkward position. But yeah, we're just gonna have to bide our time here, and just wait and see. I think these guys are going to push the middle, so if I just wait like we have now, and you can see here we go, they're all going to start, they're going to get brave, they're going to think they're getting confident, they think they can just sort of push through in numbers. But what they've effectively done is they've just put themselves in a crossfire between myself, Keiki, and the other tank destroyer we got there, and between us we cleared some of his tanks out. Now this Tiger 2 that has noticed that we're here has decided he's going to come and try and have a go. Luckily artillery traps him in place. He gets slapped by something else sitting at the back there, and we get a shot in, and all of a sudden we've now just brought this game back into contention. Unfortunately I do get shot by a tank that comes back behind us, and he's got 2 shots into us, and unfortunately it's put us into a 1 shot now. However, we've managed to trap him in place luckily, and artillery does a magnificent job of taking them out there. So yeah, we really need to be careful now. We've been quite lucky, to be fair, that we're actually still alive with with the position that we're in. It was a bit touch and go because like I say, yeah, the tanks could have come in from behind me, and I really wasn't paying attention to that. So had that IS-2-2 had someone else push with him, it could have been a different scenario, in which case probably would have ended up dead. So but luckily we're still alive, and luckily I'm the only light tank alive in the game. So this is the point now where I can start to have a bit more of a detrimental effect. I can start lighting up tanks for our artillery, and also our friend Keiki, and we should hopefully, fingers crossed, be able to get this game back in the bag and win it. And we're 2 tanks up now, so this has been incredibly an incredible pullback from where we was initially in terms of numbers. We were 5 tanks down. It was looking like it was a inevitable loss, but no, we've turned the numbers, and now I'm sort of going to go on a spot and run. I'm avoiding the cap here because I don't want to let the enemy know that I'm yeah, I don't want to let them know that someone is potentially there coming through. I want to sort of use my stealth, and we light up artillery there. And we could get some shots in here. Keiki manages to get a shot in there. I get a shot in, putting him on a one-shot. So yeah, that's another tank that luckily we don't have to worry too much about now. We can get a shot into him. However, we just popped up here, and this IS-2-2 I think might have been AFK, I'm not sure, but luckily we just caught him out there. Artillery is now looking at me, and I'm just trying to lose a spot, and that's what I'm telling Keiki. I'm just trying to lose a spot here. Now I've lost the spot, I can make moves, and yeah, we can start looking at getting some more shots in. See the one-shot artillery there, we get a shot into him, taking him out, and yeah, now it's just the last artillery left, and we're going to see if we can take care of him, but luckily our own artillery manages to get the jump on him. And there we go. That brings end to that replay and a victory. We come top of the board there. Also credit to Keiki and an absolutely brilliant game in the Tehran there. We end up doing 3.4k damage with 5 kills, just over 4k assist. Only the first class. I think if we sort of put maybe a bit more damage in, maybe got a 6th kill, we could have got the ace there. But anyway, moving on to number 2, we have the Rheinmetall Panzerwagen. Now, I've always enjoyed this tank. It's probably one of my favourite light tanks, if I'm honest. And yeah, again, the whole line was just an absolute blast. The Hawk 12 at tier 8 can be a little bit awkward to play because it's got one of the slowest shell velocities in the game. But it does play well as a passive light tank. Now you can see I've put the equipment and the perks up there. I'm not going to go through them, I've just, put them up there for reference, so, pretty much most of you all know by now what the equipment and perks are, so don't have to read them out for you. Now I must add that this replay was pre the buff. So Rheinmetall did get a buff, had its concealment buff. I can't remember if there was anything else buffed on it. I know the concealment was buffed though. So yeah, so this was pre Rheinmetall buff, and we're on Maravank here, which is a pretty decent map to it's a pretty decent map for a light tank. Now we see his Tusk that's just gone YOLOing in here. He's obviously wanting to just try and slap something real hard, get behind it, and sort of get a massive shell into it, which he does manage to on this Minotauro. But what he's essentially done is he's just sort of left himself out in the open. Now, unfortunately, that side has just kind of been absolutely pressed by those light tanks, and we kind of had to fall back here because I'm not going to take 2 light tanks on their own. Unfortunately, artillery gets taken out there because these light tanks are just literally just YOLOing around and just creating havoc. We get a nice shot in there, and we've actually tracked him in place, and I'm going to try and see if I can potentially snapshot him on the move, which I do. It's quite a surprise because the Rheinmetall does have a bit the dispersion on the shells are a little bit dodgy. It's not the most accurate until you actually when you're sort of sat still, aimed in, it is accurate, and it's really good. You've got brilliant gun depression as well. You've got a good 10 degrees of gun depression on this tank. Usually I play this like a bit of a medium, similar to the Sheridan. You can play that like tank. Well, I mean you can play it more better now because obviously the concealment buff means you can sort of get a bit more close without being detected, and you can play that light tank role more effectively. But I do tend to play it a little bit more like a medium, get on the flanks and put shots into the side of people, poke up on ridge lines, using the gun depression and getting the shots in. And the other limitation with the Rheinmetall, which I wish they could have buffed as well, was the ammo capacity. Can't remember how many shells it is that you get. It's a good ramming tank as well. I can't remember for the life of me how many shells you get at the start, but it's not that many. I think you literally have 32 shells possibly, 34 shells to play with, which really isn't that many. Particularly as the reload isn't that bad on this tank, so you can have games where you can run out of shells quite easily, and that can be a problem. So you do have to be a bit sparingly, and not go completely mad. This type of play is very much just driving around a complete nutcase. There really isn't much tactic here apart from drive around like a maniac, get some shells off, and try and light some stuff up. So you could probably say I'm not playing my light tank role as effective as what I could be. But in all fairness, the way I was sort of seeing it is that there was 2 other light tanks in our team, one of them being a Manticore. So we've got the spotters available. I'm sort of more thinking I can go in for damage, and that's precisely what I'm doing here. But I've seen this Jaeger's caught out here, and I'm going to get behind him and I'm going to get some shots in here. I've completely got this guy snooking now. I've just got the back of him, and we should get the kill shot here, and we do. So we pick up the kill on the Rheinmetall. That's our 3rd kill of the game. Now all that's left is just 3 TDs and the 2 artillery. This really has been a very, very quick game. But to be fair, that usually tends to be the case in Moravanka. With Moravanka, if you wing each flank sort of quite quickly, that's usually it. That's kind of game, set, match. But we've had fun. We had a lot of fun just sort of YOLOing around there. Like I say, there was a tactic to sort of get over on the other flank and sort of come up behind. Again, play the flanks, light them up. But no, we just sort of decided that we were gonna just YOLO around and shoot stuff basically. Unfortunately, we get hit by artillery there, but we do take out the Death Star. I wanted to take out Death Star because that is a dangerous tank. The artillery gets shut down by our artillery. Unfortunately, I got so preoccupied with the other artillery that I didn't pay attention to the Foch, which was still alive, and keeping an eye on me as I was YOLOing in like a madman. So I got took out there, but you know what? Not fast. We got more than enough tanks. The Foch gets taken out anyway, and it's only a matter of time before artillery gets taken out. So yeah, there we go. So that brings an end to the replay there, and also the victory, and we come top of the board there, and we got 4 kills, and we got just over 6k damage, which is really nice, and 2.5k assists there. I think that's a bit of spine and tracking. Only picking up the 1st class. We do get the high caliber medal. That was just a fun game, really, to be fair. Wasn't much of a tutorial, to be honest. It was just kind of like YOLO and hope. Don't always play like that, but the opportunity just arose, so I took it. Anyway, the final replay at number 1 is T100 LT, which has always been the best light tank in my opinion. Nothing has really come close to it. I'd say the Rheinmetall is probably the tank that come close to being as good as it. I wouldn't say it was better at all. I think the T100 has always been a mainstay light tank at tier 10. And it's just fantastic. It's very low profile, very, very mobile, very nippy. And again, you've got good concealment, you've got good view range. And you can play this. The problem with the Rheinmetall is it has quite a high profile, whereas the T100, like I say, look, it's a very low silhouette, so it's quite easy to to sort of go and get undetected. Like I say, the speed and the mobility of it means you can play this quite easily as an active light tank. The Ramental you can as well, but like I say, Ramental maybe in that passive role. I mean, okay, now it's probably a lot better, but before the buff, you were going to struggle to sort of play that passive role. But you noticed again we're on Moravanka. This time we're on the opposite spawn, and what we done is, I mean, both spawns I will sort of go to the middle right hand side. There's a little ridge, I will press that and essentially you end up lighting up stuff that is coming into the forest, and it's basically giving the team the information as to where the enemy is coming from, how many are coming into the forest, and you can potentially get artillery, get some shots off there. If you've got some medium tanks or other light tanks that have got here quickly, they can also get some punishing shots in. Again, I'm sort of playing quite an aggressive nature here, and I'm seeing this light tank is equally doing the same, so I'm thinking, do you know what, I might try and see if I can get some shots into this guy. Get a nice snapshot on the move there. This Ruthless is nearly taken out. Good, try and see if I can get the shot and get the kill on him. Just drive-by stealing kills there. That's great. The medium tank gets shut down there. We get a shot into the light tank, but now I'm going to pull back there because I don't know what is back in the corner there. Nothing has really been lit up. I suspect the majority of their team is there. There's probably a lot of tank destroyers there. And yeah, I don't want to go chasing that light tank. It's not worth it. So essentially what I'm going to do is, I saw that IS-3-2 and I decided I'll try and take a snapshot there. And dispersion on this is pretty decent, to be fair. You can manage to get quite a lot of shots off on the move. Now see this light tank here, and unfortunately I don't aim the shot properly, and this is where I've got myself into some bother chasing light tanks, trying to kill this AMX off, which I managed to, but now I'm getting chased by the enemy T100. Unfortunately it does his engine, because that always happens whenever you get chased by something. And yeah, and we've kind of ballsed up here by, clowning around trying to kill the one-shot light tank, and this is another part of my game I need to improve on, is knowing when to disengage on a light tank chase, because in my head, if I can kill the light tank as quickly as possible, that's good for the team, right? Because then that's something else that can't spot us up, and also means it gives us the superiority over the vision. If all their light tanks are dead and I'm alive, that favours me basically. But equally, you get distracted. You get caught up chasing a light tank that's a one shot. And then you've got another light tank chasing you, and before you know it, your hit points are your hit points are being absolutely decimated, and then you're no use because then you're having to play passive. So yeah, there was some lessons to be learned, to be fair, but yeah, so we've done all right, to be fair. Like again, we've sort of been clowning around. We picked up over 4k assist there. Don't know where that shot went, but we're getting some shots into that FE 4005, because FE 4005 is squishy and easy to pen. And we're just sitting up here and we're just making the most of our view range. We're keeping stuff lit at the back there. We're 5 tanks up, so we've got the numbers. Try and see if I can sneak a shot into this standard B, which we do. We get a shot into the side of this turret, and yeah, now we've got these guys penned in, so it's just essentially cleaning up now. Again, I'm just sort of pinging off shots left, right and centre, and now I'm just going to go rushing in on the artillery here, get a nice shot on the move. And yeah, I'm just going to fully go in. There's a Sturm Tiger here that we've lit up, so we should get some nice assist off of this guy. He's getting absolutely brutalised. Can we get the kill shot? Yes, we can. There's one tank left, which we're going to try and take care of as well. I think it's medium temp object 140 there. So we're going to go in and we're going to try and see if we can get some shots. They're not facing us, so get a nice snapshot in there. We're just going to sort of try and distract him. We can eat the shot there, but we don't get the kill, unfortunately. It does get taken out. And there we go, another nice clowning around game. But again, you can see how effective the T100 is. Yeah, it's very quick, it's very nimble. And we come top of the board there with 4 kills, just over 3.7k damage, just over 6k assists, which is quite good. And yeah, just a nice decent amount there. Picked up the ace tanker, and yeah, we just had ourselves quite an incredible game there. So yeah, that is it for the replay, and that is it for the video. That is it for Rank the Tank, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. We do this content, yeah, we do this Rank the Tank every month, so it's an ongoing theme. So if you really enjoyed this, then like I say, please subscribe, and you know, you can get more content. Let me know what you think, guys. You know, is that your particular sort of favourite in terms of tier 10 light tanks? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know.